Good day everyone. Today I'm going to be reviewing a shaving soap by Bartigan and Stark Campione. The soap, this is a limited edition soap and it was advertised as a tobacco soap. The notes are tobacco, vanilla, amber, and bergamot. They're right here on the side label. And when it comes to the scent, this soap gives me a bit of a cognitive dissonance. The label is very masculine, this Italian, and given that the soap was advertised as a tobacco soap, I expected something kind of very masculine, strong animalic, maybe akin to Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. When I smell the soap, I am greeted with almost a bubblegum, fruity kind of scent. And then once my nose gets blinder to that initial blast of fruitiness, I can smell a little bit of dry tobacco underneath, but it's quite faint. So the scent is definitely not what I expected. This is the way that the soap looks in the container. I haven't touched it yet, and we'll lather it up and see how it performs. The brush for today is Stirling's Tuxedo Synthetic. It's my favorite brush. So I will just rinse my face and we'll get started. I have previous experience with Bartigan and Stark soaps. I have their Timber Yard right here, which is for me this scent is very lemongrass forward. It's for me it's dominated by that that lemongrass scent. I don't really smell any woodiness in it, but I think a lot of people enjoy that soap. And my experience with the Timber Yard soap, it's very thirsty. So what I will do is, so I've just squeezed all of the water out of the brush. What I will do is I will dip the tips and start with a generous amount of water in the brush, just so that I don't end up with very dry proto-lather. So yeah, the proto-lather I'm getting right now isn't overly bubbly. It's kind of where I want it to be, and I can tell that the soap is loaded into the brush. So when it comes to the scent, I think that the fruitiness, kind of the bubblegum fruitiness I'm smelling, is a combination of bergamot and vanilla. And you know, again, this soap being advertised as tobacco, I kind of read, okay, tobacco, vanilla, amber, and I imagined a very warm, spicy, strong, masculine type of scent. This isn't what I expected, but we'll see how the soap performs. Okay, I think I have plenty in the brush now, so that was, I don't know how long that load was, maybe 20 seconds. But that looks good. So I'll go into thigh slather. I can tell that the proto-lather is exactly what I want it to be. It's on the wetter side, and with additional lathering, I can get it to be. I can bring it to the to where I want it to be in terms of density and slickness. Yeah, this is coming together quite nicely. I was very impressed with the Timber Yard lather. Again, the scent for me wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. Or not quite my favorite, but in terms of performance, there's really nothing to complain about with that soap. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, I think this lather is actually kind of there, and this is the nice thing about using a synthetic brush and starting with a slightly more water, is that the lather actually comes together very quickly. Like really, you can see the peaks. In terms of, I could probably add a little bit more water to this, but honestly, I don't want to screw around with it too much. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it here. So this, you can see that this is very easy to work with. It came together really quickly. The razor for today is RazoRock Gamechanger, 0.68. It's on a stainless steel handle from Fenderhon, and the blade is Gillette Platinum on a second or third use. I cannot exactly remember which one it is. So in terms of the artisan who makes this soap, his name is Glenn. I'm not really sure about the name of the company. I met him in person because he lives in Calgary, and so do I. And he's an absolute gentleman, very classy man, and that's another thing that I noticed about his soaps, is that the labels are very, very well put together, and I guess the best way to describe them is classy. Very simple and classy. And that's kind of the type of gentleman that Glenn is. The slickness on this is excellent. So far, so good. In terms of, again, not to beat a dead horse back to life kind of thing, but in terms of the scent, the bergamot is quite strong in this for me, and I can conceive of me being sensitive to citrus scents, and that's why what I'm smelling in this soap, as well as in Timber Yard, is not exactly what others smell. And they might be able to smell something very different. That is a distinct possibility. Hold on for pass number 2. Okay, so when I was rinsing, I noticed there was a little bit of residual slickness, but not a crazy amount. I think I just swallowed a bit of soap, and the taste that I got was actually very ambery. So that's interesting. To me, the soap smells like bergamot, but tastes like amber. Amazing. The scent, again, the scent is not unpleasant in any way. It's a very pleasant scent. It's just, for me, this is not a kind of masculine, almost animalic scent. That's not what this is. This is a very pleasant, fresh, I would say spring scent. When I was talking to Glenn, he was lamenting the fact that, well, although this is a tobacco scent, he was releasing it in the spring, and I said, yeah, that's, that maybe that's slightly unfortunate, but although, as I'm saying all this, it is snowing in Calgary, and it is May 9th, 2021. That's when when I'm recording this video. Who knows when I'm actually going to upload it. But at any rate, this could be easily a late spring or summer scent. It actually, I think the bergamot and vanilla note remind me the scent in the soap reminds me of Noble Otter's Tanoir Evanil. It's just, oh, Evanil. Not a French speaker here. Except the Tanoir Evanil has a bit of a deeper scent profile, just because of that black tea note. The Campione, to me, it's, if I were to improve this scent, I would base it out a bit more, because the way it is right now, for me, it's essentially right in between feminine and masculine. This is really a unisex scent for me. And if I were to make it more masculine, I would base it out with cedar, sandalwood. If you wanted to go a bit more animalic, I would add a little bit of skank in terms of in the oud. And if I wanted to make this more feminine, I would add some florals. Hold up for pass number 3. So as you can tell, I'm yammering here, trying to give you all the information on the soap, and I'm having no issues with this shave whatsoever. I think, from what I can tell thus far, is I've loaded just about the right amount of soap. I don't think I underloaded or overloaded, and the amount of water I started in the brush was just about perfect. So, very easy to work with. Ridiculously easy to work with. So, that's great. And performance-wise, no issues. The only thing I would say is perhaps it could have more residual slickness. That said, you know what everyone says. You shouldn't shave without any visible lather. So, residual slickness is a bit of a red herring. The other thing, kind of the elephant in the room here, is that this soap is limited edition. I think Glenn made 200 tubs. And although I think at this rate, I apologize, what the heck was that in my throat? And even though I think some tubs of this soap are still available, they will be sold out at some point. So if you're watching this video, a year from now, you might be saying, well, what the heck is the point of reviewing a limited edition soap? And I agree. Because you wouldn't be able to buy it anymore. That said, this is more of a highlight for Bartigan and Stark. Oh my god, I'm having a hard time pronouncing it. As a brand, and as a brand, I can vouch to you that they make excellent soap. And that's the end of that. And they will look great on your shelves because they have very nice labels. Yeah, absolutely no issues with this shave. I could probably stop right here. I still feel a little bit of stubble in a few places. And since this is a video, might as well do another touch-up pass. I usually do what I call 3.5 passes. I guess it's more like 3 3 3 3/4. a bit tongue twisted today. So I picked a really good day to make a video. Yeah, as I said, I did not underload this at all. I still have a good amount of lather left in the brush. This is could actually use a tiny bit of water, but that's okay. So, if I compare this to Timber Yard, this soap is slightly less thirsty. Or maybe a good amount less thirsty. I would say it's easier to work with than Timber Yard. Even though, you know, I have 5 years of experience in wet shaving, so Timber Yard doesn't really give me any troubles, but I do find it that I have to hydrate it consciously a fair bit. And yeah, I guess that's one part I forgot to mention, is that the formulations on Timber Yard, the Nil, which is Glenn's unscented soap, my goodness, and Campione, they all differ slightly. Although, as I said, to me, other than Campione being slightly easier to lather, my goodness. In terms of the actual lather consistency and performance, I cannot detect any differences. I didn't experience any burning sensation. My skin doesn't seem dry. The razor is not skipping or doing anything weird on the skin. And the scent is pleasant, although slightly not what I expected. It is what it is. Okay, I will rinse and we'll apply some aftershave. Actually, before we apply the aftershave, I wanted to show you what's left in the brush. Here we go. Da-da-da-da. Okay, here we go. I mean, yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, perhaps I could, you know, this is my first time using this base. So, conceivably, I've over-hydrated it a little bit. Pardon the running water. Okay, so aftershave. I did not buy the matching splash for Campione because it does not contain alcohol. My skin is prone to breakouts. Yes, at the ripe age of 34 years old, I still have acne. And I do find that using an alcohol-based aftershave helps control it a little bit. And I've experimented with this. I've experimented with alcohol-free witch hazel-based aftershaves, and they just do not work for me. I inevitably get acne. So the aftershave for today is RazoRock Tuscan Oud. It also has a little bit of tobacco in it, and this is a very masculine scent. It is a clone, I think fair to say, of Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. And I love this scent. I love it to death. And I am going to smell like it for the rest of the day. Oh. Okay. So for those who are not familiar with RazoRock splashes, they're pretty strong in alcohol. And I do not feel any burning at all. This is actually rather pleasant. I do feel a bit of menthol. So this is most excellent. I had an amazing shave. Well, if all the shaves that I have from here on until eternity are as good as this shave, then I will be a happy man. Okay. Yeah, no burnouts at all. Nothing. Great. This is amazing. Now, part of this is a credit to the razor, because RazoRock Gamechanger 0.68mm is my absolute favorite razor, and Gillette Platinum are my favorite blades. But, well, this was excellent. I think this video will be informative for those who are curious about Bartigan and Stark as a brand, and yeah, make sure to check them out. Peace!